This week's G.L.O show is about short sales, short sales, short sales. The short sale market's not dead, and I'm bringing in my short sale expert, Steve Burrell, to teach you all about short sales. Sitting next to me, my secret weapon, Steve Burrell. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So talk to me about short sales. What banks do you like working with? What banks do you hate working with? And what's the key to getting a good approval?
I'm looking for to create a personal relationship with the negotiator at that bank. So as long as I can get that person on the same page as myself and create a sort of relationship where we can negotiate out a payoff, where they'll feel comfortable taking a loss or a steep loss in our case is what we're going to give them, then I'm able to move on. I mean, we've had great deals with Wells Fargo, Ocwen, Chase, Citibank, and they've all been good or bad at the same time, depending on the negotiator that you're working with.
I haven't negotiated a short sale in a long time. Steve kind of took that whole process out of my hands. And it was in the beginning, that 4 or 5 years ago, where it went from, hey, Bob, it's Chris calling you about that property, to kind of a much more regimented and difficult process. I can tell you, I got out of short sales back when it was just beginning to get hard. You got the hard process this time, these days.
Definitely, totally. At this point, the banks are savvy to what investors are doing. So, you know, they're greedy. They pretty much do not want investors to make money. In the bank's eyes, they should have the whole piece of the pie. So, you have to bend to their rules. As long as we know what the rules are, we know how to adjust to them. That's what we say. Let us know the guidelines, and then we'll operate in between.
Now, I often hear that negotiating short sales is getting more difficult. I've heard this every year. 5 years ago, I go, oh, short sales are getting more difficult. The year after that, short sales are getting more difficult. Your boots on the ground. You're actually in the trenches negotiating these short sales. Any truth to that?
I mean, I hear it a lot, but at the same time...
Doesn't stop you.
Look how many deals we're closing a month.
Right.
I mean, yes, some of them are home runs, others are singles. You can't be greedy. It's the same thing with baseball. You have to take the pitch that's given, and you're going to hit it depending on where it's going. So, I mean, I don't fall to that. All they do is put up different rules that they want you to abide by, and as soon as you know what the guidelines are, you can openly play with them.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be flexible. You can't be rigid. This is the way I negotiate a short sale. You do this, this, and this. No, it's like anything else. It's like any success in any other type of business. You need to duck and weave. You need to adjust, and you need to keep on top of those rules because they keep on changing.
That's correct. That's correct. And I think one of the most important parts to point out is that we're operating within the realm of fair market value. Now, granted, fair market value is not a specific number. It's a range. You have a low end, you have a high end. All we're trying to do is simply buy at the low end of the fair market value and sell towards the high end. And as long as you're within that range, you're operating within the guidelines that the bank set. Now, one of the keys to it is all banks send out for an independent valuation of their property, whether that be a BPO, which is known as a broker's price opinion, or an actual appraisal. They're going to send out an independent party to come and value the property. We don't influence on the value. We may point out distressed issues with the property, details about the neighborhood, conditions of the house, the situation of the homeowners, but it's that independent agent which values the property. Now, if we do a good job, they value it at the low end of fair market value, which leaves room for an investor to make some money, whether by putting some money into the deal, fixing up certain areas of the house and then reselling, or just automatically reselling.
Yeah, I absolutely noticed that in our process, what the value that a BPO agent may put on mold in the basement and what that problem really is once you solve it are two different things. BPO agent will walk into a basement, oh man, it stinks down here. Get out, mark that property down. You and I know that it's just a couple $1,000 fix.
Correct, correct.
They look at a crumbling wall, they see that this house is really disheveled. When cleaning the property up and a couple of grand fixing a wall can turn a property from unsellable to sellable.
Definitely.
And I don't understand why these banks are always fighting us, because they need us in order to move this inventory. Nobody's buying properties in the distressed nature that they're in right now. Previously, at a last time I had one of these G.L.O shows, I talked about how ugly and how neglected these properties are. And it's through these short sales is the only way that these properties are able to be brought up. And the banks sometimes are looking for market value on a property that they don't realize will not sell without some TLC.
Chris, you are 100% correct. But my personal opinion is they're seeing the return on investments that investors are yielding in the market. And now you're starting to see the shift towards large institutional players picking up mom and pop houses. Now they want to go and purchase the multifamily house, whether it be to hold for their own income or to be primed for the next rebound in the market, since houses are so cheap at this point.
And I am tired of people coming to the investment club saying short sales are dead, we're going to use a different strategy. Just because there's other strategies out there does not mean you should abandon short sales. Steve Burrell will tell you that our pipeline has never been thicker. Our returns have never been higher.
Definitely, that's definitely the truth. I mean, at the end of the day, the bottom line is there's still millions of people that are in upside down mortgages that purchased their houses from 2003, 4, 5, and 6 and got caught out there by the overinflation of the market. All of those negative debts did not disappear. People are still in situations where their once low property taxes have been reassessed and revalued and making it impossible for them to pay their mortgages. And those are the individuals that we would like to meet, that we would like to come across.
I want to take this opportunity to thank you, not just for the great success that you've brought to me and my firm, but all of the people that you have been able to help over the years get through really the worst recession in history and the biggest real estate downturn that I certainly have ever seen, and hopefully we ever will. So Steve, keep on doing what you're doing.
Hey man, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Thank you for all that I've learned from being around you. It's just a wealth of information here. This is something that's very beneficial to everyone. You should definitely take advantage of it. Stay tuned. I know Chris has a lot of great things coming. He's enlightened me a lot. He's definitely helped my career, taking it to the next level. Keep watching.
Thank you for watching my video. I need you to forward this to a friend. Help us expand our network. Together, we can all grow stronger. Let's share the information so that we can all be more successful real estate investors.